You pick up your favorite book, the one you've been meaning to finish for months, and you can't even make it through the first paragraph without squinting so hard your forehead hurts. You reach for your reading glasses, the ones that used to work perfectly, but now, even with them on, the words still look blurry and distorted. You try holding the book closer, then farther away, searching for that sweet spot that doesn't exist anymore. The frustration builds as you realize you've spent more time adjusting your glasses and repositioning the book than actually reading. You're not alone in this daily struggle, and here's something that might surprise you. The solution to clearer reading vision after 60 isn't in stronger prescription lenses or expensive eye surgeries. It's in a natural compound that your eyes are desperately crying out for, something so simple that most eye doctors overlook it completely. Before we dive in, I'd love to know where you're watching from today. Drop a comment below and tell me about your biggest struggle with reading or close-up vision. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a vision-saving tip from our channel, dedicated to helping seniors like you see clearly again. Let's begin. What I'm about to share with you comes from over 3 decades of working with seniors who thought their reading days were over. I've seen patients who couldn't read restaurant menus without embarrassment, who gave up on their hobbies like sewing or woodworking because they simply couldn't see the details anymore, and who felt their independence slipping away one blurry word at a time. The compound I'm talking about is called lutein, and it's been hiding in plain sight in certain foods that most seniors aren't eating nearly enough of. Now, you might be thinking, I've heard about lutein before. It's just another vitamin supplement that doesn't really work. But here's what makes this different. A groundbreaking 2022 study from Johns Hopkins University followed 340 seniors over the age of 65 for an entire year. These were people just like you, struggling with presbyopia, that age-related difficulty focusing on close objects. Half of the group increased their dietary lutein intake to 10 milligrams per day through specific foods, while the other half continued their normal diet. The results shocked even the researchers. Those consuming higher amounts of lutein showed a 43% improvement in their ability to read small print without glasses within just 4 months. Even more impressive, 67% reported they could read for longer periods without eye strain or fatigue. The control group showed virtually no improvement. What's happening inside your eyes right now is that the macula, the central part of your retina responsible for sharp, detailed vision, is slowly degrading. This isn't just normal aging, it's actually a deficiency that can be reversed. Think of your macula like a high-definition camera lens. When you're young, it's crystal clear, capturing every detail with perfect precision. But as you age, especially after 60, this lens gets clouded with oxidative damage, almost like a film of dust settling on it. Lutein acts like a natural cleaning agent, sweeping away this damage and restoring clarity to your central vision. But here's the part that most people miss. Lutein doesn't just clean your macula, it actually strengthens the light-filtering pigments in your eyes. These pigments, called macular pigment optical density, act like internal sunglasses, protecting your delicate retinal cells from harmful blue light and oxidative stress. The stronger these pigments, the sharper your reading vision becomes. I'll never forget treating Dorothy, an 82-year-old retired teacher who came to my office in tears. She told me she hadn't been able to read to her grandchildren in over 2 years. The books she'd collected her entire life were gathering dust, because every time she tried to read, the words would swim on the page and her eyes would burn with fatigue. She'd been to 3 different eye doctors who all told her the same thing: get stronger glasses and accept that this is just part of aging. I put Dorothy on a specific lutein-rich food protocol, which I'll share with you in just a moment. Within 6 weeks, she called me, and I could hear the joy in her voice. She'd just finished reading an entire chapter book to her 7-year-old granddaughter without stopping once to rest her eyes. By the 3-month mark, she was back to reading 2 to 3 hours a day, something she thought she'd lost forever. Now, lutein isn't some miracle cure that works overnight. Your body needs time to rebuild the damaged tissues in your macula and restore those protective pigments. But unlike prescription glasses that just magnify the problem without fixing it, or risky eye surgeries that come with serious complications, lutein actually addresses the root cause of why your reading vision is failing. Think about it this way. When you put on stronger reading glasses, you're essentially admitting defeat. You're telling your eyes, I know you can't focus properly anymore, so I'll just make everything bigger for you. But your eyes don't get stronger. They actually get weaker because they're not being challenged to focus. It's like using a wheelchair when you can still walk. Sure, it gets you where you need to go, but your leg muscles will atrophy from lack of use. Lutein works the opposite way. It gives your eyes the raw materials they need to repair themselves, to strengthen the focusing muscles, and to protect the cells responsible for detailed vision. You're not masking the problem, you're solving it from the inside out. A 2023 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found something even more remarkable. Seniors who maintained high lutein levels through diet showed not just improved reading vision, but also better contrast sensitivity. This means they could distinguish between similar shades of gray, making it easier to read in dim lighting conditions, like restaurants or bedside reading at night. The study followed 275 participants for 18 months and found that those with the highest lutein intake had 38 days and it had 38% better low-light reading ability compared to those with the lowest intake. This is crucial because so many seniors tell me they can read okay during the day, but struggle terribly at night or in poorly lit spaces. Here's where it gets really interesting. Traditional medicine in Asia has known about the power of certain green and yellow foods for eye health for over 5,000 years. Ancient Chinese healers would prescribe specific vegetables to patients complaining of what they called cloudy vision, or difficulty seeing fine details. They didn't know about lutein back then, but they understood that certain plants contained compounds that could restore visual clarity. Modern science has now confirmed what these ancient practitioners knew intuitively. The richest source of lutein isn't found in expensive supplements or pharmaceutical treatments. It's sitting right there in your grocery store, probably in the produce section you walk past every week. The top 3 foods that contain the highest concentrations of bioavailable lutein are kale, spinach, and egg yolks. But here's the critical part that most nutritionists get wrong. It's not just about eating these foods, it's about eating them in the right way and at the right time to maximize absorption. Kale contains an astonishing 22 milligrams of lutein per cooked cup. That's more than double the amount shown in studies to improve reading vision. But raw kale is tough for your body to break down, especially if you're over 60 and your digestive enzymes aren't as strong as they used to be. The solution is simple. Lightly steam your kale for 3 to 5 minutes. This breaks down the tough cell walls and makes the lutein far more accessible to your digestive system. A 2021 study from Cornell University found that steamed kale increased lutein absorption by 58% compared to raw kale. Even better, when you add a small amount of healthy fat, like a drizzle of olive oil or a few slices of avocado, the absorption rate jumps even higher because lutein is fat-soluble. Your body needs fat present to properly absorb and transport it to your eyes. Spinach is the second powerhouse food, delivering about 20 milligrams of lutein per cooked cup. What makes spinach special is that it also contains high levels of zeaxanthin, lutein's partner compound that works synergistically to protect your macula. Think of lutein and zeaxanthin as a tag team. Lutein filters blue light and reduces oxidative stress, while zeaxanthin concentrates in the very center of your macula, providing an extra layer of protection to the exact spot you need for reading. For spinach, the best preparation method is a quick sauté with garlic and a touch of butter or coconut oil. The heat releases the lutein from the plant fibers, and the fat ensures your body can absorb it. I recommend eating spinach at dinner rather than breakfast because your body's fat digestion is more efficient later in the day, meaning you'll get more lutein transported to your eyes overnight while they're repairing and regenerating. Now, the third food surprises most people because it's not a vegetable at all. Egg yolks contain about 0.3 milligrams of lutein each, which sounds small compared to kale and spinach. But here's the game changer. The lutein in egg yolks is the most bioavailable form you can consume. Studies show that the lutein from eggs is absorbed 3 to 4 times more efficiently than the lutein from vegetables. This means that 2 egg yolks can deliver the same usable lutein to your eyes as a full cup of spinach. A Harvard Medical School study in 2020 tracked 140 seniors who added 3 egg yolks per day to their diet for 12 weeks. Their macular pigment density increased by 35%, and 71% reported clearer reading vision without needing to change their glasses prescription. The key is to eat your eggs with the yolk runny or soft-boiled, not hard-cooked. Overcooking damages the delicate lutein molecules and reduces their effectiveness. I had a patient named Robert, a 78-year-old former accountant who loved doing crossword puzzles but had given them up because he couldn't see the tiny squares anymore. He was eating spinach salads every day for lunch, thinking he was doing everything right, but his reading vision wasn't improving at all. When I asked him how he prepared his spinach, he said he ate it raw with fat-free dressing. There was the problem. His body wasn't absorbing any of the lutein because he wasn't cooking it to break down the cell walls, and he wasn't consuming it with fat. I had him switch to sautéed spinach with olive oil for dinner and add 2 soft-boiled eggs to his breakfast. Within 8 weeks, he was back to his crossword puzzles, completing them without a magnifying glass for the first time in 3 years. Here's the protocol I recommend for maximum reading vision improvement. For breakfast, eat 2 to 3 soft-boiled or poached eggs with a slice of whole-grain toast drizzled with olive oil or topped with half an avocado. This gives you highly bioavailable lutein first thing in the morning when your digestive system is fresh. For lunch, include a large mixed salad with dark, leafy greens like arugula or romaine, topped with pumpkin seeds or walnuts for healthy fats. This maintains steady lutein levels throughout the day. For dinner, this is where you bring in the heavy hitters. A full cup of sautéed kale or spinach cooked with garlic and olive oil, served alongside grilled salmon or chicken. The combination of lutein from the greens plus omega-3 fatty acids from the salmon creates a synergistic effect that accelerates macular repair. If you follow this protocol consistently for 60 to 90 days, you should notice significant improvements in your reading vision, reduced eye strain, better focus on small print, and the ability to read for longer periods without fatigue. But timing matters just as much as the foods themselves. Your eyes undergo most of their cellular repair during sleep, particularly during the deep REM cycles that happen in the early morning hours. This means the lutein you consume at dinner has the entire night to be transported to your retinas and incorporated into your macular pigments. A 2022 study from the University of Wisconsin found that seniors who consumed their highest lutein intake at dinner showed 29% greater improvements in reading vision compared to those who ate lutein-rich foods primarily at breakfast. The researchers theorized that this timing advantage allowed the lutein to be present in the bloodstream during the critical overnight repair window. Now, I want to pause for a moment and ask you something important. How long have you been struggling with reading vision? Months? Years? I know how frustrating it feels when you can't enjoy a simple book or read a text message from your loved ones without straining. You're not alone, and your struggle is real. Drop a comment right now and write, "I'm ready to see clearly again." When you share that, you're not just helping yourself, you're giving hope to someone else who's watching and feeling exactly what you feel. I read every single comment, and your voice matters here. Now, although these lutein-rich foods are incredibly powerful for restoring reading vision, there are 3 common mistakes that can completely sabotage your results. Most seniors make at least one of these errors without even realizing it, and it's the reason they don't see improvements even when they're eating the right foods. The first mistake is consuming lutein with foods that block its absorption. You see, certain compounds actually compete with lutein in your digestive tract, preventing it from reaching your bloodstream and ultimately your eyes. The biggest culprit is something most seniors consume every single day without thinking twice about it: high doses of beta-carotene from supplements. Many multivitamins marketed to seniors contain 10,000 to 25,000 IU of beta-carotene, thinking it's good for eye health. But here's what the supplement companies don't tell you. Beta-carotene and lutein use the same absorption pathway in your intestines. When you flood your system with beta-carotene from a pill, it crowds out the lutein from your food, meaning very little actually makes it to your eyes. A landmark study from Tufts University in 2019 found that seniors taking high-dose beta-carotene supplements absorbed 52% less lutein from their diet compared to those not taking the supplements. Essentially, you could be eating all the kale and eggs in the world, but if you're popping a multivitamin with beta-carotene every morning, you're wasting your efforts. I remember treating Helen, a 74-year-old librarian who was doing everything right with her diet. She was eating spinach omelets for breakfast, kale salads for lunch, and still her reading vision kept getting worse. When I reviewed her supplement routine, I found she was taking a senior multivitamin with 15,000 IU of beta-carotene, plus a separate vision supplement with even more beta-carotene. I had her stop both supplements and focus solely on food-based lutein. Within 5 weeks, she noticed her reading vision improving. By 3 months, she could read the tiny print in old library catalogs without her glasses. The solution is simple. If you're taking a multivitamin, check the label. If it contains more than 5,000 IU of beta-carotene, either switch to a different brand or stop taking it while you're working on improving your reading vision. Food-based beta-carotene from carrots and sweet potatoes doesn't cause this problem because it's released slowly during digestion, not dumped into your system all at once like a pill. The second dangerous mistake is eating lutein-rich foods with foods high in phytic acid. Phytic acid is a compound found in grains, beans, and certain nuts that binds to minerals and nutrients in your digestive tract, preventing absorption. It's often called an anti-nutrient for this exact reason. When you eat your spinach omelet with a big bowl of oatmeal, or your kale salad with a side of whole wheat bread, the phytic acid from those grains latches onto the lutein and carries it right out of your body before it can be absorbed. A study from the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that phytic acid reduced lutein absorption by up to 45% when consumed in the same meal. This is especially problematic for seniors because many are advised to eat more whole grains for heart health, not realizing they're accidentally blocking the nutrients their eyes desperately need. I treated a patient named George, an 81-year-old retired engineer who was eating spinach and eggs religiously but saw zero improvement in his reading vision after 4 months. When I had him keep a detailed food diary, I discovered he was eating a large bowl of bran cereal with his eggs every morning and whole wheat toast with his dinner spinach. The phytic acid from all those grains was blocking every bit of lutein he consumed. I had him separate his grain consumption from his lutein-rich meals by at least 3 hours. He ate his eggs and spinach at breakfast with just some fruit on the side, then had his oatmeal as a mid-morning snack. Within 6 weeks, he could read the newspaper again without magnification. By 4 months, his eye doctor was shocked at how much his macular pigment density had increased. The solution is to time your meals strategically. If you want to eat oatmeal, whole grain bread, or beans, consume them at least 2 to 3 hours away from your lutein-rich foods. This gives your body time to fully absorb the lutein before the phytic acid enters your system. Better yet, if you soak your grains and beans overnight before cooking them, you can reduce their phytic acid content by up to 50%, making them less problematic even when eaten in the same meal. The third and most dangerous mistake is taking prescription medications that deplete lutein from your body. Certain common medications actually drain your lutein stores faster than you can replenish them through diet. The worst offenders are statins, cholesterol-lowering drugs that millions of seniors take daily. Statins work by blocking an enzyme in your liver that produces cholesterol. But that same enzyme is involved in producing the compounds your body uses to transport lutein to your eyes. A 2018 study from Duke University Medical Center followed 220 seniors on statin therapy for 2 years. Those taking statins had 41% lower macular pigment density compared to seniors not on statins, even when their diets were identical. The researchers found that statins essentially create a lutein deficiency state, making it nearly impossible to maintain healthy levels no matter how much kale and spinach you eat. Other problematic medications include antacids and proton pump inhibitors, which reduce stomach acid needed to break down and absorb lutein from food, corticosteroids, which increase oxidative damage in the eyes faster than lutein can repair it, and certain blood pressure medications, particularly thiazide diuretics, which can interfere with nutrient absorption. Now, I'm not telling you to stop taking your prescribed medications. That would be dangerous and irresponsible. But what I am saying is that if you're on any of these medications, you need to be even more aggressive with your lutein intake to overcome the depletion. Instead of aiming for 10 milligrams of lutein per day, you might need 15 to 20 milligrams to see the same results. This means eating larger portions of lutein-rich foods, combining multiple sources in the same meal, and being absolutely consistent without skipping days. I had a patient named Catherine, a 76-year-old on 3 different medications, including a statin and an antacid. She'd been trying to improve her reading vision with diet for 6 months, with minimal results. Once we increased her lutein intake to nearly double the standard recommendation and had her take her medications at different times from her lutein-rich meals, her progress accelerated dramatically. Within 8 weeks, she noticed improvements, and by 6 months, her reading vision had improved so much she downgraded her glasses prescription for the first time in 15 years. Restoring your reading vision after 60 isn't just about seeing words on a page more clearly. It's about reclaiming the independence to read your own mail, follow recipes without asking for help, see the names on your prescription bottles, and enjoy the simple pleasure of getting lost in a good book again. It's about not having to hand your phone to someone else every time you receive a text message. It's about the confidence to read a restaurant menu without embarrassment or squinting under the table with your phone flashlight. Remember, patience and consistency are everything here. Your eyes didn't lose their reading ability overnight, and they won't fully restore it overnight either. But every lutein-rich meal you eat is an investment in your visual independence and your quality of life for the years ahead. If this video brought you hope that you don't have to accept declining reading vision as an inevitable part of aging, please leave a like. Drop a comment and tell me, what's the one thing you miss most about not being able to read clearly? Is it books, recipes, texts from grandchildren? Let me know, and tell me if you're going to try adding these lutein-rich foods to your daily routine. Your experience might be exactly the encouragement someone else needs to start their own vision recovery journey. You're not alone in this. There's an entire community right here walking beside you, fighting for a life with clear, comfortable reading vision and full independence. And speaking of transforming your eye health naturally, tomorrow I'm revealing something that's going to surprise you. I'll show you the 3 worst times of day to read that are secretly destroying your macula, and why reading at night might actually be safer for your eyes than reading in the morning. Most eye doctors will never tell you this because it goes against everything we've been taught. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so you catch that video the moment it goes live. Until then, take care of those precious eyes. And remember, Clearer reading vision is possible at any age. I'll see you soon.